one of the things that you did mention to us is that you played The Last of Us, the first Last of Us, and that's what got you into like, actually, this might be a job. Might be a career, right? Never mind a job, a career. How did that jump from like playing, going like, damn it, this is too good, I need to get into this, to being into like the company that made that original game, right?
Right. Yeah, I mean, growing up, I was just like a huge like gamer, mostly PC and like the first PlayStation. But I'm from the Philippines, and that wasn't really a like career that was possible, at least back home. So I never thought of it as like something I could like do. I don't know who I thought made video games or like what actually went into it. But when I moved to the US, I was still kind of trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I think I wanted to be like an architect at some point because I wanted to play Sims all the time. And I was like, yeah, that translates completely to architecture.
Exactly the same thing.
Exactly. It's the same thing. Like, then there was all this math and physics, and I was like, what? So I'm not gonna do that. And then, yeah, I kind of just like knew I wanted to get into games, and then I looked more into it. I think I played Last of Us like right before I got into college. So that's when I knew that I wanted to pursue that like for real. So I studied computer science with a minor in game development at my college. And so that kind of set me on the path, and I never really looked back. I feel like I was rare in the sense that like I knew so many people who didn't really know what they were doing, like and just like went into college like undeclared. But I was like, I'm gonna go into the game industry. And I think I feel like Last of Us like definitely cemented that. Just like it fit really well with the timeline of where I was and what I wanted to do. So
You went into college with a very clear focus of like direction of where you wanted to end up, which is like you mentioned, like a lot of your friends at the time didn't have that. And I think when you want to get into games, if you start at college level with that direction, that's like you are more likely that's where you're always going to end up, right? Whereas if you go, I've seen people start it because they think, oh, it's going to be really cool and really easy to play games all day. You suddenly learn what's involved in development. No, this is not for me. I'm out. I just want to play the games. I don't want to go beyond that. But it's good though, and you know, like you fix it on that point and have that direction.
Yeah, my parents definitely wanted me to have a backup, because if I went, I think more so on like the artistic side, like digital art, they'd be like, oh, what else could you do if games didn't, you know, work out? But with computer science, they were like, okay, like you have like tech to fall back on. So they were less like strict about that. Meanwhile, all my cousins were like going into being nurses and like doctors and stuff. They never forced me through that medical field path, thankfully. So I was just hoping it would work out in the end.
And it did.
And it
did. I think it's kind of interesting, because the product is not the career, right? How can I explain that? As you said, judging is like the parents see the kid playing the game and it's an enjoyable thing, it's a toy, but they don't then equate that there must be like some people making this. But you do that for other media, right? Because you've got directors, you've got things. You don't look at a movie going, these movies just appear out of nowhere, you know? You know, that you go like, well, there's a cameraman. And if someone says like, well, I want to be a cameraman, they go like, okay, well, there's going to be a career for you, right? And I think it's just the amount of time that industry has been about, right? Okay, so it's not that much, it's 100 years or so, but give it another, I don't know, another couple of weeks, you know, and I think finally people will start taking that a little bit more seriously. I don't know if I'm correct about this, and I'm sure someone's going to put something in the comments below or tweet at me, but pretty sure the game industry makes a lot more money than Hollywood, right? Especially, well, the UK game industry is like...
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's larger than the movie and music industries combined.
Yeah.
Right. So in industrial terms, I'm not talking, you know, like I'm talking about proper industrial terms. There is a career. There must be careers there. It's not like two guys in a room going like, "What are you making this week? I'm going to make GTA 6. What are you making? I don't know, Call of Duty." You know.
But I think it's like you kind of touched on a little bit there, Mark. It's like it's the age of the industry, right? A lot of this stuff just wasn't known. Like I remember even when I was starting out and I was still in university, I knew about the industry, but it wasn't in the public eye as much. It's like if you go down now, you don't have to be a gamer and someone knows what Fortnite is or someone's heard of Minecraft. It's like those things hadn't happened yet to be these industry movements to where it is in mainstream media so much now.
I mean, I don't have any prior knowledge about this, but I think when that will change is when a company like Epic, as an example, buys Disney or buys another big media company, and they become a, might be a bad example, but when something that everyone knows about suddenly gets bought by a game company as part of their acquisition. I'm looking at Epic because they keep on buying loads of companies for different reasons, but that's when I think it might enter the more common parlance. But then, having said that, and Gabby's here with us, and you don't have to comment on this, but Sony, they, you have TVs with Sony on them and stuff like that, so Sony's and they publish games essentially, right? They're games publisher.
Have a whole console, yeah.
They have a whole console about it. They really got invested in this, and but I don't know. It has to get into the public parlance of these are things that, it's their proper careers. But
I'm really interested in your origin story, Gabby, and on the subject of the of that perception of the industry from the outside. So you said you were very keen to get into games. But what was your perception of what the industry was, and did you have anything that you thought, that's the thing I want to do, or did you just look at it and go, I want to get into that?
Yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to do. I was just like, I want to get into that. Like Naughty Dog, I feel like was such a far pipe dream. I was like, there's no way I'm gonna get there like until I'm like in my 30s or 40s or something like that. Like I always thought it was kind of like an end game. I just knew, like I did a bunch of different things like in college. My focus was actually level design, and I was like, oh, that's probably what I want to do.
You're in the right podcast for that.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Among friends here.
Yeah, and I did that for like a bunch of my projects, and I was like, this is really cool. But then I feel like at least my college, like I didn't feel like super prepared to really translate those skills like right out the gate, because I was more focused on like my computer science degree, and there were all these things I didn't really care about, and I was just like, I want to focus on like the game design or just like game development minor of it all. And so I didn't feel super prepared to just like jump into that. And of course, like with a lot of new jobs like out of college, they're like, you need 3 years of experience for this associate level
jobs,
entry-level jobs in the industry. 5 years.
So I was like, I don't know like how to go about that. I just knew that I wanted to be a part of the industry, and to specifically be a part of companies or projects that like mean a lot to people, and could touch people in different ways, and like reach like a really wide audience, whether it be through their complex characters or their really diverse like stories. I kind of wanted to do the same thing like that Naughty Dog or other games that have touched me, and kind of bring that inspiration to other people, and kind of just make games for more people, aside from like, growing up, it was just like boys being like, oh, what, you game? Like, I don't believe that. So yeah, I didn't really have like a big dream coming in, like specifically like, oh, I want this position. I just thought I want to be a part of it and kind of see like where I'd fit and where I'd do best. And then I kind of just stuck at least like with QA here, because I really enjoyed at least like QA at Naughty Dog and how involved it gets. And there's also, a lot of like preconceived notions of what QA actually does. And I feel like here, like we break so many of those boundaries, and it's just like so much more than like, you're just playing the game all day. Like nobody really talks to you. You're not supposed to talk to any other devs or anything. So, and I felt like this is like a great way too, to like put my voice in for people who do want to, use it as a stepping stone, even though, there's people who actually want it to be like their careers. I feel like I can help people grow in that sense and help them figure out what they want to do, or if they want to stay in QA as well. So I feel like my voice matters a lot here.